teams are just made up, obviously, of just dudes. And human beings, we all are prone to good days, bad days, big emotion, being depressed. And everybody wants me, hey, Colin, you've been banging on the Steelers all year because they're undefeated but play down to their competition. There's a difference. There are things the Steelers can't do, consistently run the ball. Kansas City's different. They can do everything. They just don't do it all the time. And that's a hard place to be in for an NFL team that's running away with a division. Is that when I watch Kansas City play, my only question with them is, will they get bored? I mean, when New England was doing this dynasty outside of the Randy Moss years, it was a lot of close wins. It was all close Super Bowls. They weren't blowing people out all the time. Kansas City's the Warriors with Durant. First year, they just smoke people. By year 2 and year 3, it's harder to get up. I remember Jordan in his heyday winning titles and losing to expansion Toronto. It is hard, not only when you're great, but when you're so gifted and things come so easy for you, it is different. The Steelers are winning. It's not easy. They can't run the football. They've had 2 major injuries to their linebacking core. They have a bunch of young wide receivers, and those relationships are growing. So Pittsburgh's winning, and they've earned it, but it hasn't been easy. There are things they can't do. And the thing they do great, which is, that front seven, now they have 2 major injuries they've got to overcome. Kansas City's different. I mean, when they lose a game now, we are shocked. We weren't, by the way, when New England lost games in the dynasty, we weren't shocked. But when the Warriors lost a playoff game with Durant, we were like, whoa, that's where we are with Kansas City. So that's why I see them differently than Pittsburgh. There's nothing they can't do. It is just a matter of, can they create in-house, and this is what Andy Reid's going to have to do. Urgency. This thing matters. You watched that thing last night. They were you never once in that game felt Kansas City was threatened. Nobody did. And that's either did they. Either did the Chiefs. They didn't feel threatened. They were in a game, but this was, you walk into an octagon, and Conor McGregor, for most of his fights, knows he's a better fighter. He's got to get the right angle. He just got to get the angle on it. Kansas City was just kind of playing for the angle, the knockout punch. I mean, they had a Tyreek Hill touchdown that didn't count, another one taken away. This thing could have been over much earlier. We were talking about Philadelphia. I want to shift to Philadelphia's got a real dilemma. So everybody's like, Jalen Hurts played well. Okay, if he's the solution, it doesn't solve the problem. You do not want a $35 million backup. There are certain combinations in life that are just bad. If you're a director of a movie, and when it's all done, you go to the studio and go, yeah, it's long and boring. You're done. If it's boring, make it quick. If it's a little, little stodgy, a little clunky, make it quick. When you have an expensive quarterback and he's currently lousy, you are done in this league. You're done. That is like, I've got a car, it cost me a fortune, and it's always breaking down. How do you get out of it? You got a car payment. You still got to get to work tomorrow. Like, I don't see I look at bad teams in this league. I look at Cincinnati right now, and I think, God, Joe Burrow comes back. They'll go heavy on offensive line personnel. They're great. They'll be fine. Jets, Jags, I can see the sunlight. Man, we said earlier, this is bleak. There is no solution. I look at Philadelphia, and if Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, you may have thought he was overpaid. We all did. But he was never terrible. He had a ceiling. He wasn't terrible. Jimmy Garoppolo, who I like more than you. We felt for about 2 years, not anymore with the contract, but for 2 years, we're like, ooh, that's a lot for Jimmy Garoppolo. But it wasn't terrible. Wentz is expensive and terrible, and there's no way out. This league is predicated on 2 things. It really is. Your quarterback's talent and how expensive is he. And if he's super talented, you can have a little less talent around him. And if he's not expensive at all, Baker, Goff, and his rookie contract, then you get a lot of talent around him. But when his talent now is debatable and he costs you a fortune, somebody made a movie, maybe Kevin Costner was in it, No Way Out. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer for Philadelphia. Colin right, Colin wrong next.